woke up, the war has started.
We were sure that we will die.
Since the start of the war, the lives of many Ukrainians have turned into an endless search for a new beginning. For some, Scotland has become their temporary refuge. Julia, one of the Ukrainian refugees, is on her night shift at the Edinburgh airport. She manages the welcome desk for Ukrainians. I've invited Julia to our studio to share her experience.
Did you expect any arrivals today?
Well, not really, just because I knew that period of time it wasn't really busy. We were expecting some flights from Poland, Romania as well, but yeah, I didn't expect many people.
Julia was preparing some toys, water, SIM cards and other essentials whilst waiting for potential arrivals. It was meant to be a quiet night until a young woman came up to the desk. Natalia is expecting her mother to arrive shortly and asked us to wait with her.
Oh, I was so excited even when she came by herself and she started to talk with us, and she explained like she was expecting for her mom from Poland. So we asked many questions.
For me, it will be easier to have her with me here, not in Ukraine, because mother is the most important that I have in this life, so I want her to be here with me.
After a 2-hour delay, the flight landed and the air was filled with excitement.
That scene when she met her mom, it was amazing. It reminded me my meeting with my parents when we were away from each other for a long time. Honestly, these meetings give me power, give me a lot of things to think about.
My name is Sasha and I'm originally from Ukraine. I've been living abroad since I was 15, which meant being away from my family. Even though my mother lives far away, I still feel her love and immense support through our long daily conversations over the phone. I can call her whilst I'm going to university, cooking, or simply walking my puppy. I know she'll always be there for me, like I will be there for her. My mother loves to embroider. She creates traditional rag dolls, which symbolize protection over families.
Включаю видео.
We speak for hours on FaceTime and often sing our favorite songs.
Весна йде, красу несе, а в тій красі радіє все.
Там соловейко щебетав, додому я просилася, а він мене все не пускав. My mother inspired me to start my own embroidery to have here in Edinburgh.
This embroidery pattern is very special to me because it comes from my region. It has very distinctive, bold, graphic red lines that are usually embroidered on the gray or white linen.
We sow our path, our sorrow and pain, and turn it into a beautiful art that bears a symbolic meaning. Rhombus, for example, is a symbol of fertility.
even though I'm thousands of kilometers away from my homeland, I would still like to keep some traditions alive. And embroidery, which is called vyshivanka in Ukrainian, is one of them. My mom taught me how to embroider when I was still a child, and it's definitely one of those traditions that I would love to pass on to future generations, no matter where I end up.
Ukrainian craft is not only for decorations, it can also save numerous lives. Edinburgh spiders weave the camouflage nets from old clothes to conceal the Ukrainian soldiers. We're off to visit one of their locations, but first, let's collect some donations for them.
These have all been donated by the students of this accommodation. These clothes are still in a good condition, so they can be used for creating the nets, toys, or simply be donated to the families in need. Let's drop them off. We're here at the Morningside United Church. This has become a safe place for so many Ukrainians. They weave the nets here, organize charity events, and socialize.
Hannah, one of the founders, says that every little helps. Her daughter, Sophia, whose initiative was to start the society, worked hard on gathering the volunteers, spreading the word, and communicating with the soldiers.
Може вдавати, що це мій кіт? I really wanted to help my country, and my priority was helping our army, because I think those guys are absolutely amazing and they give everything they have, which is their life, and they sacrifice it for the sake of the whole nation, for my home, for my relatives, and that's why I started making the nets. It appeared that the netting is the most difficult part, because even though there are some nets here in Britain, but usually they're made of plastic, while we needed something, some natural material. And I was searching everywhere. I think it took me a month, and I ended up buying just these pieces of jute rope, which is simply the rope made of natural material. And then you should have seen the process. We just cut them into pieces 10 meters long, folded in halves, then put them on one string, and we started making these knots, and then it occurred like making the whole ropes into a net, which was a very, very long process.
Making the nets is also a social activity that both children and adults can engage in. Here's a finished net, which will be sent off to Ukraine very soon. This was the voice of an individual who has managed to gather hundreds of people for protests on the streets of Edinburgh. I've invited Nick for a cup of coffee and a chat in our studio about his goals and aspirations.
Hi, my name is Nick. I'm organizer Ukrainian protest in July in Edinburgh.
First protest we launched in near Russian consulate. I remember this day. It's really bad day for Ukrainians after Russian terror in Olenivka, but maybe more than 200 people come our protest near Russian consulate, and I remember this energy. It's really difficult for us to understand this horrible action in what happened in Ukraine.
What's your experience with activist events in Ukraine?
When I was 18, I started working in Ukrainian national LGBT organization, Gay Alliance Ukraine, and it's an important experience for me because I started my journalism career and wrote about Ukrainian LGBT people who fight against homophobia and try to protect human rights for LGBT community. It's important for me because I'm a gay person and we need to continue our human rights work in Ukraine.
If you have one message for Scottish people about Ukraine, what would you tell them?
I remember one important message for us, for Ukrainians. It's called "Freedom is our religion." It's really important words because we fight against our freedom, our nation, a long time. It's not happened 8 years ago or 6 months ago. No, it's really long-term problem when Russia tried to occupy Ukraine, to take our freedom.
Holodomor, a genocide of the Ukrainian nation, resulted in the death of more than 7 million people.
Why is it important to commemorate all the Ukrainians that died from Holodomor?
Well, for me, it is also part of our culture and part of our past, so we shouldn't forget it.
Julia, Nick, and many others visited the Holodomor Memorial to commemorate this horrific event and remember our history. The gathering was initiated by the Edinburgh Ukrainian Club, and that's where we are headed next.
I thank you, Ukrainian Club, who organized today this event to memorialize Holodomor. I'm really glad a lot of Ukrainians come and join us because I can't imagine what's going on in Ukraine. Half people without electricity, water, continue to live, and I support Ukraine. I support people who fight against Russian occupant, and we need to continue help Ukrainians with food, with electricity, with armor and weapon.
The Ukrainian Club is a place to meet new people, enjoy each other's company, and sing national songs together.
Раз, два, три, чотири. Червону руту не шукай вечорами. Ти у мене єдина, тільки ти повір. Бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є бистрая вода синій.
February the 24th marked precisely 1 year since Russia's full invasion of Ukraine. Ukrainians marched along the old town of Edinburgh to the sound of their national anthem, performed by the local bagpipers. We stopped a few protesters to ask what this day means to them.
Since the 24th February of 2022, I just feel angry, like I'm very angry, and I feel a lot of like hate, and I'm coming to any meetings and anything like before that in Poland and here and now, and like all what we are doing for now, all what Ukrainians are doing in the whole world, like in Ukraine, sure, it's firstly our army is just our heroes, but we need to support them, and we still keep going. And we need to do everything what we can to help Ukraine somehow.
And when were you on the 24th of February 2022?
Yeah, we were in total occupation in the village near Bucha, and it was very, very scary, probably the most dangerous moment of all my life. And we were sure that we will die in that moment. But now we are alive, so we are here to help Ukrainians.
I remember this day like it was yesterday. It was 3 a.m. here, and I received a call from San Francisco from my previous head of the consulate. Miss Natalia gave me a call and told me like, woke up, the work has started. I didn't believe it because I didn't see any news. I started to check my phone, all news sources, Facebook, Telegram. There was nothing. I just gave a call to my mother. I've asked her just what's going on. The war started. She told me like, no, everything's fine. But I understood that I can't sleep anymore. I just slept for 2 hours, maybe more, and then at 5 a.m. I woke up and I ran to the consulate because I need to do my job. That's why I was here, and that's why I'm here now. And after that, this whole year was for me like one day. I just live in the consulate. I just try to do my best to help people, just to support them, just to provide as more and as much support and help to them as I can. So that was those day, 24th of February 2022.
Displaced Ukrainians are not illegal refugees who are here to live off of the government. They're real people of various ages and backgrounds who didn't have a choice and were forced to move abroad to escape war. Yet they are volunteering, protesting, and advocating for their freedom, because freedom is our religion.